So, hi everyone. Now I'm going to take the recording for what we did on Saturday, the first class. And this is it. For beginners, we need to talk about the Excel setting. Yeah, for the Excel setting, where you can insert various form of function to this new tab. You can change the background of this Excel here. You can add an access toolbar to this place. All of them you can do that make use of the Excel settings, and that's what we are going to now. So you click on file, then click on more, then options. So here we have the general settings. Here you can decide what kind of format to use once you open your Excel. So I'm making use of, here it's showing Times New Roman, right? So I can change it to, let's see, I can change it to Arial Black. You can change it to, if the standard is usually 13, but so that to tell you that this settings is actually working, you can change it to 11, then the number of sheets that you want it to appear. Let me change it to 3 so that once I click OK and I restart my Excel, the stuff, all what I've set here will open. Even if I open my Excel many times, this is the stuff I'll be seeing. So this is very, very useful. Maybe you're in your own organization, there's a particular font that you have to make use of. So instead of you, especially when you're typing, when you make it so Excel often, so instead of you changing the font every time, you can just come and change it in the settings here. Then you also have the font size that you have to use, general font size and size that you have to use. Then also good to put the username so that anybody that sees your Excel, they can be able to know the person that developed it. Especially when it's your personal laptop or in the office laptop, there are someone that maybe you are new to that office, you are developing various form of templates, that you have to make him use of. So you can come here and change the username. Then the office background also is one of the changes. The office background is this place here. Here you can see. Let me change it to school supplies. So now if I should, once I change and I press OK, it's going to change. Before it was 13, right? My font size was 13. So everything will change to 11. The sheet that was, when I opened my Excel, it was only one sheet that was there before. That's why you were seeing one initially here. But if I should open and close my Excel now, you will see three. So note this stuff that we mentioned. So let's do that so that we won't forget. Okay, you can see say please close and restart Microsoft Excel so that the font changes can take effect. So let's say okay. Then I'm closing my Excel. Then I will open it back again. I'm trying to open my Excel. As you can see, it has increased the size. This is now area black. This has changed. Then the font has changed to 11, right? Then this one become more bold. Did I make any changes to my column number? So let me check. So and then we'll continue the other sentences that we need to do there. Yeah. So let's continue. Then another thing you have to make use of the data aspect. I don't think you need to know more here. The formula aspect too. Make sure that this one is on check. You don't want it to be checking error for you and start giving you a green at the down type at the right bottom of the cell like this here. You don't want it. So which means that you actually, but if you want it to be checking error for you, you can check it, then give it any color that you want. Then make sure that this place is 100. Here enable iterative calculation and that this place is 0.001. Then the working with formulas, make sure that you check all what is here except the cell referencing style. You should be able to design self-referencing style by yourself. So all this one should be checked. Formula autocomplete, use table names in formula, use get pivot data function, reduce formula variations, any form of variation that's supported by older versions of Excel too. Then the next one that you should know is customized ribbon. This is where you can add to any tab that is any function that was not there before. For example, on my data tab, the what if function was not there before. I was the one that added it. So for me to add that, you go to your data tab, off tab, then you go to your data tab. Where's my data tab? Or for example, this developer, that's when you develop your macros on Excel. Macro is one of the stuff on Excel that used to automate Excel. So if you now want to add it to what should be showing as a tab here, you can often see that the developer is not yet checked here and you're not seeing it here. So if you want to be showing it, you tick it here that it should be showing, and that if you want to now add any functions, you can see that there are macros there. This is macro. These are the basic visual and then Visual Basic Editor. That's um the editor that you use in is a form of coding in Excel sha. So if you want to make use of this function, you have to check your developer. Make sure you highlight it like this here first, because you need to highlight so that you know where you want to push that function to. So once you highlight, you click on visual, then you click on add. You can see it needs to be added to a custom group. So you need to open this one down so that you know that is that's where you want to add it to. Then open this one too. You've clicked on it, then add. So create a group, pick a tab in the list, then click new group. Okay, let me create new group. It has added the custom group under the developer. So add. You can see it has now added it. But I need why is that it's not using this? Well, you've done what it has told you to do. So easy. And then one thing is that I think the reason why it's saying I should create a new group is because this Visual Basic has already existed there. And once you check your developer here, it will automatically make all what is here available. That's why it's saying that if I want to add, I need to create a new group. So I don't want to create a new group, so I'll click on reset. Reset only selected unit tab. No, let me select. Yeah, you can see it has taken it. What I did there was not there before, so I've taken to the normal thing. So then, so if I should check this now, automatically all this will be made available on my tab. So that's one of the ways to add a particular function that was not there before. Then your quick access toolbar, this one, the quick access toolbar is here on Excel in this place here. That is anything that you use frequently and you want to add it to this place so that you can always add. Once you use your mouse to hover around this place and click on what you want, you can get it easily. For example, that there's a what if function that we are going to make use of. So if you are somebody that you make use of the what if function frequently, it's better for you to come and put it rather than going to each tab and start trying to locate it there. So the format painter, and you can also remove. You click on it, then you click on remove. It's going to remove it. This one too, you click on it and remove. You want to even add it back. For example, the fill color now, we make use of it frequently and you want to add it. You highlight it, then click on it. Click on add. It automatically add it there, then click on OK. You can see that it has changed, that the fill color is there. So now let's get started. Then notice something also, your sheet has now increased to 3. once you open your Excel. So those are the that is the effect of your settings. So now that is the first lecture that we did. Each of these is called Excel cell that we are to make use of. So but the standard here is that you need to make your sheet should to be one sheet, not three. So let's change it. The size, so if you even need a more sheet, you can always create a new sheet by yourself. And then I need to change this to Times Roman. I love Times Roman, and that is the first. Then the font size is 13. That's normal font size for Finboard. Click on OK. Okay, we are going to restart. So you need to restart your. So as you can see, once I change the, so you can see that what I did, I want Times Roman, I want it to 13. In fact, the way the font for the row now, how the row was named, that is this letter, it changes, and that's what applied to the previous one that you were seeing that it was black. We name it the font size. We say it should be area black. So it make your Excel more suitable to the organization taste and to be more appealing to them. So now let's continue. Then let's start our analysis. So the file that I sent to you, financial analysis blank. Let's open it. So now you have to open the financial analysis blank Excel sheet I sent to you. Once you open it, you'll find this there. So what is this telling us about? This is telling us about the data that you've collected in doing your financial analysis. And when you're doing financial analysis, you're analyzing a company's financial reports in terms of it was in the financial statement, the income statement, the balance sheet, the cash flow statement. But what we'll be looking at for in our own stuff here is the income statement. And I'm going to also tell you how to use Excel shortcuts and some of the Excel functions. So in analyzing income statements, so of course what I'm going to teach you here also, you can apply it to maybe when you're doing business plan, you want to make 5-year forecasts for your business plan, or you want to undertake particular projects in organization and you'll be asked to do 5-year forecast for it. Or probably you want to suggest, let the business go into a particular project. So you need to do a forecast. You need to gather data as to how such kind of project will, the result of what the project will be, whether more revenue will be added to the existing revenue of the business. So it's financial analysis that you need to do. No matter how any project is, it involve money. So and to look at the future trends, you need to define it in this way so that you provide a sensible analysis to them as to the effect of that project or on your net profits. And of course, your finance person will be able to understand that better. Or if you are a finance person too, you can be able to portray that better, and for them to be able to take such kind of decision. So let's get started. So for example, I've already gathered this kind of data for my historical record, and I've reported it from the financial of Finbot consult. This was 2021 and 2022. They are the historical record of them, and which I've gotten. But all of them are inputted one by one here. The only one that our formula here is the SG&A, which is the um selling general and other administrative expenses. The reason why I have to link that one is that I linked it from this place here. Here most times the figure for this one is not just, you might not be able to estimate it as a whole. You need to estimate it one by one. Okay, what is the additional salary and wages? Of course, in your income statement, that's for the historical record, the list of it will be here. But in a situation where you are just making forecasts, you need to determine, what will be salary and wages, what should be the additional electricity that will be used for such projects, and the transaction we've done in the bank, what will be the bank charges, what will be the transportation, any other expenses that will occur apart from the expenses that are directly related to generating the revenue, which is this cost of sales here. So that's what you will put here. So we've now sum all together, all these SG and E together. And of course, to sum them, we use the sum formula. You press equal to sum, you use tab to pick it, then you now highlight one of them and now drag your cursor to highlight everything. Then you press enter. It will give you the sum figure. Another way you can do sum is Alt plus. One thing to understand that when you're making use of Excel, you have to know how to use shortcuts very well so that you can be faster. And I'm going to teach you that because it's not easy, using your mouse and also using that of your laptop together. So you can use the mouse of the laptop and your keyboard at once. So it makes you faster when you're doing your analysis. And that is what we call a pro in financial analysis, the ability to use shortcuts and ability to use the various functions in Excel very well. So let me delete this off. Then to sum it up, you can make use of your keyboard and the shortcut to use is Alt plus. Alt key, Alt then the plus key. You can see automatically it bring out the sum function. And so if it Excel make it a bit intelligent and pick the sum that are available together. Then you press enter. Then I now linked it to this place here by picking it here. And the same thing that I've done here. So now to start my analysis, I need to create a new sheet. And to create a new sheet, the plus that is here, you click on it, then you drag it to the first part, that's where you want it to be. Then you rename. If you want to rename, you double click on the sheet that you are seeing. This sheet here, you double click. Once you double click, you rename to basic analysis. Sorry, financial analysis. I've renamed. So you first thing you need to put the name of the company or the purpose for which you're carrying out the project. But the name of the company that owns that project is very key. Finboard Financial Consults, that's the name of the company. Then you put your denomination. So those are figures are in thousands. I will now copy my information. So for you to do copy, there are shortcuts to it. Everybody knows that Control C, right? You need to highlight all the whole um data that you need to copy. But in highlighting, you can use your shift and any arrow to push it wherever you want to push it to. But it's better to use this. You click on any where you want to, any of the mid like any data, any cell within that data you want to copy, and you now press Ctrl A. It's going to select the data immediately. All the data within that, like you are closer to that yourself that you've selected before, it's going to select it. You notice that it doesn't go to other because it knows that there's a space here. It does not select it. That's a faster way to control copy. To copy. So sorry, to highlight what you want to highlight faster. Then you now copy it, Ctrl C. Then we now paste it to where you want it to be. Then Ctrl V. Using Ctrl V, yeah, it actually achieve what you want it to achieve. But there are some situations where, yeah, there are formulas there that it will not copy everything because as you copy it like that, here, it's when this cell, it will go and read what is in this downside. If it's not finding anything, then it will make it zero because that's the formula that is here. So for that not to happen, it's better for you to copy without the format that existed here. And for you to do that, you make use of paste special. Paste special exists under this paste function here. Remember I told you that we will not be using our mouse to pick. We make use of our keyboard. So for you to access any tab here, you press your Alt key, then H, which is under home, then V, V here, then S, this S space special. Then you now say you want to place the value only. You don't want the formula to be with it. Then you now click on OK. You can see it now actually fill that one that has formula because it fills in form of the value. You don't want the formula or any formula that is coming from the previous one to come to this place, and that's why paste special is very good. If you only want the formula to paste, is when you just click on formula and to paste it. Did you get it? So next is that all these ones are not showing what we want. Then we now need to highlight these two column so that we can be able to widen the space here. Instead of you using highlights here, there's another way you can do it. There's another way you can do it so that you are going to highlight these two cells together. So the way you can do it is that you first highlight one of the cells within that column that you want to expand, then now press Control space bar. Then you can see that it immediately highlights both of them together. Assuming you highlight this three cell, it's going to highlight this three column also. Control space bar. Use that to highlight what? To highlight column, right? But it's this two that we want. We highlight a cell that is in that column, then you now press Control space bar. Then it has highlight them. So then you can now use your, this kind of sign. Once it's appear like this, you can double click. It's going to expand everything for you. Then the next one that we have to do now is, we need to now include some subtotals. But before we do that, let's format our year so that we can know the number of years that we want to format, and also format the numbers that are within here. So to do that, this one is it start of 2021, right? Yes, it's fine. We now need to make our date dynamic in a way. So we now say equal to pick this, then plus one. That's very easy. Then you can now highlight, or probably you drag. We want to make a forecast for, we want to do a 5-year forecast, right? So this is 3, 4, then 5. You can do that. But the most professional way to do that instead of dragging, so I'm confused. To do that is that once you have your formula here and you want it to be in other cells too. Highlight the cell that you want it to be, then now press Ctrl R. That's it automatically put fill. So we call that fill right. Ctrl R fill right. If it's fill down, you press Ctrl D. Let me practicalize that. If I should do highlight this, I think I want to fill it like this. Then I press Ctrl D. It will immediately copy that formula downward like this. So let me Ctrl Z. So then if it's Ctrl left, sorry, Ctrl R is fill right, Ctrl D is fill down. That's the only thing that we have. So let's continue. You can see that yes, it has filled, but this is 4 years, email one. So let me highlight it and Ctrl R to fill it right. Let me make it more here. For 5-year forecast is fine. Let's leave it like this. Then the next thing is that if you look at this, nobody can be able to distinguish whether it's which one is actual, which one is forecast. The year that is the actual, which year is historic, which one is the historical record, and which one is the year that forecasted year. So in order for you to be distinguished, you now have to format this yourself here. And for you to format, so this two here, we want to attach A so that we will have something like this 2021 A, right? So if you format, if you use this, and now we want to put the format, let's say equal to plus one, it's going to give you an error. You can see this one is telling you that it doesn't understand what it is. So for you to be able to now attach A like this to it and also allow your formula to work, we need to you do format number. For you to format the cell. And to format cell, you use the short key to do that, to bring it up. Control 1. Control 1 will bring that out the dialog box for format cell. So we want to format cell. The cell that we want to format, we're supposed to highlight it. Let me cancel. And I have to highlight this. Control 1. Then I have to go to custom. Then you have to pick the one that has 0. You can see, type the number format code using one of the existing code at the starting point, which is this one. Then I'll put A. You can see it's already giving me sample of what it is. Then you click OK. Then let's do for the others too. Control 1. So here I'm attaching F because these ones are forecasted years. Then you click OK. It has given you a sample. You click OK. Let's delete this one off. Then the next thing is that we need to fill the background for this one so that it will look more appealing. And most importantly, you need to use the color of the company. Let me show you this also. You can see that having a space within this to within this one and the year is not that ideal. So I need to remove this column. And to remove a particular column, you do control minus, that's a shortcut for it. Instead of you just going to start looking for where to delete cell, or pressing Alt, you can just align the whole row that you want to remove and do control. Press control minus. It's going to delete the whole cell for you. So for me to make to color this background here, so I need to use fill color. Highlight where I want to color, shifts, then highlight where you want to color. Then the fill color is here. I'm using my keyboard to that. So press Alt H is in Home tab, then H again. Then I'm making use of the blue color of Finboard, blue gray color. You click on it. As you can see, it's really you're not seeing what we've written before. So we need to change the font to white. So Alt H again, then FC for fonts because FC is what was written there. And now click on white color. As you can see, it's now looking a bit more beautiful. Then I want to make a space to exist between the income statement and this revenue. What am I going to use? I'm going to use control minus. Sorry, that's delete Abby. Control Z. To add a particular row or a particular column, you use control shift plus. See that it has inserted a particular row. Then here too, control shift plus. But I don't want it to fill here. So I want to remove this color. Then to access that, I'm trying to access this place. So I'll use Alt H. Then it's H that is saying that I should press for me to access the H. Then N for no fail. Then N. Click on N. I see I'm fine now. So here is for 2021, and that's the actual results. Also for actual results. Then this one are the forecasted years. Then let me go further to now do my subtotals. So in doing my subtotal, this one is the gross profit. I'm going to remove it and put it as a formula so that if I should put for other forecast here, I can easily copy this formula and drag it to the other ones here. So say equal to we are doing cell referencing now. This cell minus this cell, enter, can see that's done it. Then for me to now copy to this place, I'll just highlight Control R, automatically copy. Then my SG and E, I have it there. Depreciation. So before depreciation and amortization, we need to insert a particular row so that we can have our EBITDA there. Control Shift plus. Then you put your EBITDA. This is, a typical way to do your income statement. And EBITDA is your gross profit minus SG&A, that is the other administrative expenses. Selling general administrative expense, that is the full meaning. Then you press enter. You fill it right, Control R. Then here we need to insert EBIT. Okay, we need to insert a particular column also. Control Shift plus EBIT. And EBIT is equal to EBITDA minus depreciation. Control R. You highlight the Control R. Then you have your net profits, which is EBIT minus interest minus tax. Control R. And I need to now start making my assumptions because it's assumptions that I will use to drive the forecast figure. And to make my assumptions are done in various forms. It can be the one that has been provided by the person you're doing the forecast for. That, oh, let's assume that this is the revenue you're going to generate in the next 5 years. This is the percentage increase that it will be. Or you are the one that decide that, oh, based on the past trends, and that's what we are going to do now. We're going to based on the past trends that have occurred to decide the percentage increase for each of these forecasts. Or okay, making maybe the expense, probably your depreciation amortization, making it constant as the way we are bringing it, as the way it is in the past year. That's what we are doing. So you can use that to in making of your forecast. Or to make it more realistic, okay, what is the inflation rate now? You know, the expenses. Okay, let's okay, if the past year was probably 22,000 naira or 2 million. Okay, inflation rate is 10%. Let's increase them by 30%. Just make it realistic enough. But as a practical form here, we make use of the historical record. And that's what we are going to do now. So let's name this section assumptions. So assumptions, we need to determine our revenue.